Well, the results of the poll are in, boys, and it turns out that only 12% of you guys are actually going for the Incarnate, so maybe this is a video for nobody, but here's why you should still be engaging in the current Fusion calendar. So heading into the portal building real quick, we want to go into the Fragment Summon section over here, and of course, we're going to be farming up fragments for a epic champion during this current calendar. Just like I have some leftover fragments here from good old Kafru from a previous Fusion, we can then exchange these fragments for, I don't know what these are actually called, but we go ahead and exchange these, and we get to unlock these happy little fragment exchange chests, as you can see right here, and collect fragments for good old Maud. As you can see, we now got ourselves one Maud fragment. Yeah, happy days. So hey, that's just one for the newer players out there if you're not sure how that works in the portal building. Now let's get to the Fusion calendar itself. So as you can see, we're going to be collecting batches of 25 fragments for good old Slixus Stripe Hide. And we're going to be needing 4 copies of these for the Fusion. So what kind of resources are you going to want to have in your back pocket going into this spree of events? Well, of course, you're going to need about the 1500 plus gems in your gem supply. Consider these your war chest. You'll be spending a lot of these on energy refills and that kind of thing, just to ensure that you can get your way through all of the grindier tournaments that are going to be part of this event chain. Next up, you're going to want at least 25 million silver in the bank. Preferably more. You're going to be spending more than that overall on all of the artifact enhancement events, but starting off the Fusion event calendar with 25 mil ensures that you can earn a little bit more as the events roll out and maybe earn the extra 15 to 20 million that you're probably going to need to finish the artifact enhancement events during the calendar itself. 25 million is a decent starting point. Also, crafting junk in your forge and selling that as well can also help you make up some extra silver on top of that during the event calendar too. And of course, you're also going to need to max ascend your copies of Slixus Stripe Hide, and given that he is a Void champ, that means you're going to need 80 greater Void potions and 12 superior Void potions. And so that is about it for the resources that you are going to need right off of the get-go. Now, in addition to this, you're also going to need those 6 sacred shards. That's very, very important as well. And at least, like, I don't know, 50 or 60 ancient shards. Just bear that in mind. The shard pulling events are usually kind of like a big hard denial, especially to the newer players. And if this is the first Fusion event that you are looking to take part in as a newer player, dude, all I'm saying is, man, you might be better off saving your shards for a future event for a more kind of unmissable Fusion champ. A quick word as well about the epic champ Slixus that you're going to be using to fuse the Incarnate. In this is a copy of Slixus worth keeping even if you don't go for Incarnate. In my opinion, no. Probably not. I don't think that he is very good either. Reason for that is he's kind of only good at one thing, and that's being an arena nuker. He has on his A3 and attack all enemies before attacking place an increased crit rate buff and increased crit damage buff in this champ for 2 turns. He's got a little bit of like defense, ignore, single target skills and stuff like that. But all in all, he's very, very much a one-trick pony. He can do one job at like a above average-ish level for an epic arena nuker. But that's really about it. Nukers in raid are kind of a dime a dozen, and I wouldn't recommend holding on to this guy. Just use the fragments to work your way towards Maud. At least, hell, that would be my advice. Now, the first thing that we're going to cover is, of course, going to be the most simple events, which is going to be the 6 sacred shards required for the Summon Rush event. Of course, in the Summon Rush event in specific, you're really talking about the quality of shards that you are pulling in Summon Rush events. And so pulling the highest quality shards possible that you have are going to get you towards the fragments most efficiently. It usually takes 5 to 6 sacred shards, something like 5 sacred shards and a whole bunch of mystery shards or something like that can get you there pretty comfortably as well. But generally speaking, sacred shards are the best way to go. We also have an additional Summon Rush event down here in which you can pick up 50 fragments. So hell, if you're really desperate to get your hands on the Incarnate and you're looking to pull sacreds and you've just got them kind of coming out of your ears, lucky you, right? Then you can also pull them during this Summon Rush event as well. For newer players, that's probably not going to be much of an option, but hey. And the final kind of Summon Rush-ish event is, of course, going to be the Champion Chase tournament all up in here, which is similar, but of course different in that the Champion Chase tournament, you're just trying to acquire champions of a solid quality. The quality of the shard that you are pulling actually doesn't matter at all. And so in the Champion Chase tournament, you're also going to be pulling something like 50 or 60 ancient shards, I think. That might not be completely correct. I think 50 is a decent number to go into the Champion Chase tournament with. Now, a couple of caveats for both of these events, both the Champion Chase tournament and the Summon Rush event. Let's start with the Summon Rush event. There is due to be a 2x Void summoning event during the Summon Rush event. What does that mean? It means that your Void Shards could be offering you some extra value. So if you want to pull a few Sacreds and then a whole bunch of Void Shards during the Summon Rush event, that could be a damn good way to go about it as well. If you've got a good stockpile of Void Shards just sitting around and you've been waiting for a good time to pull them, you want to engage in this fusion, well, hell, now might just be the time. As for the Champion Chase tournament, I've already kind of hinted at it over here with the little fuse thingamadoodle, but you can also earn points during the Champion Chase tournament from just getting champions from any means necessary. Which means that by the time you reach this Champion Chase tournament over here, you should be able to summon 2 copies of Slix's Stripe Hide, or rather, not summon, but fuse 2 copies of Slix's Stripe Hide for some free Champion Chase tournament points over here, right? Don't be fusing your copies of Slix's, right? Because you should have enough fragments to fuse 2 by the time you get to the Champ Chase tournament at least. Don't be fusing these guys before the Champion Chase tournament begins, else you're just kind of giving up on what will be some free Champ Chase points. And just so that it's taken care of course, you're going to have the silver costs attached to each of the artifact enhancement events. We got one a few days in, followed by another after a day's break, and then followed by another right after those. These on average cost you around 15 million silver per event to clear, sometimes a little bit less. If you're unlucky with your rolls, sometimes a little bit more. The most efficient way to complete artifact enhancement events, the most silver efficient way that is to upgrade a crap ton of garbage items to rank 4 and then just sell them off. Is it kind of tedious? I mean, of course it is, right? If you're using, like, Raid Shadow Legends Helper, I think there's, like, an automated way to do that. But long story short, that is the most efficient way to farm up some free points during these events. And alright, man, any event that we underline in green here should be easy as long as the prep has been made. Classic Arena Takedown, very, very easy indeed. Don't have to worry about those, honestly. Just play Arena every day while these are active and you'll get that done. Summon Rush, if you've got the necessary shards ready to go, that should also be no problem. Same thing with the artifact enhancement events and the silver costs. As long as the prep is in place, you should be fine. Champ Chase tournament, same thing. And the other classic Arena Takedown appears towards the end over here. Should also be no problem. And that just leaves the super grindy stuff to go. And hey man, while you're getting to all of that grinding and all of the events that we're about to cover, you might just need an energy refill, man. If you do, go ahead and make sure to use promo code GameLeap and share it with your clanmates in case they need a quick energy boost as well. You'll get yourself 1 free energy refill, 10 free experience brews, and 100,000 silver. So yeah, help your bros out. Let's get to the most efficient way that you can be clearing these more grindy events possible. Alright boys, day 1, right off the get-go, right now in fact, the Finite Tournament and the Dungeon Divers event are kind of in perfect alignment right away. There is perfect crossover here right now, and you want to be blasting the hell out of this from day 1. We then have a little bit of continued overlap also with the Ice Golem tournament beginning in the final day of the Dungeon Divers event. Again, I think you want to absolutely blast the hell out of the Ice Golem tournament right from the get-go, right at the start. Just get a huge head start on it and finish off your Dungeon Divers event. You might even just want to finish off the Dungeon Divers event while the Finite Tournament is still active, to be honest, so it's just done and so it's safe. Alternatively, you could leave it so you still need something like 800 points or something or whatever until you get the fragments in Dungeon Divers, and then just get those final 800 in Ice Golem. That would be the most efficient way. Just hope that you don't have like a power outage and you lose your phone or something, right? On that last day. So I tell you what, we'll underline Fire Knight over here, then we underline Ice Golem right here, and that's where the cutoff is on this side. So right in the middle of the Ice Golem tournament, you actually get a break here where there is no Dungeon Divers event for about 24 hours. And so this kind of automatically becomes the best possible time for you to blast the hell out of champ training, do whatever the hell you've got to do in your tavern to brew up your guys, get the champ training tournament done in those 24 hours if you can, if you've got the food ready to go. Then hell, that is the best possible time to do so. Honestly, the start of this Dungeon Divers event down here is a little bit rough. It's kind of tacked onto the end of the Ice Golem tournament here, and then you have like this 24-hour gap in the middle of the Dungeon Divers event here, where there's actually no dungeon tournaments active, so that kind of sucks a little bit. So honestly, I'm going to rework the lines just a little bit here. You want to be blasting the Ice Golem tournament, Dungeon Divers tournament here. There's a bit of synchronicity, and then there becomes a period in the middle of the Dungeon Divers event where it's just not good to farm at all. To be honest, what sucks about this is that the Dungeon Divers events are so grindy that you kind of can't afford to take a day off. So I don't know, dude. I think most folks are going to end up just kind of grinding dungeons throughout the middle of the Dungeon Divers event anyway, even though you're not double dipping. That is going to suck just a little bit. And then, of course, you're going to finish things off with the Dragon Tournament as long as it is in sync with the Dungeon Divers event down here. Once again, we have another gap here in the Dragon Tournament around like this area where there is no Dungeon Divers active, so you can take a day's break from that and still probably be fine to just blast the tournament in the last like day and a half here as soon as the next Dungeon Divers event begins just below it, and that flows nice and smoothly into the Spider Tournament to wrap things up. So honestly, besides like the kind of awkward patch here in the middle of this Dungeon Divers event, there's not too much awkward action going on. The landings of these events are kind of kind. It's more towards the end of the calendar that your gems are really going to come in big, because right in the middle of Dungeon Divers, after another Dungeon Divers, and during two Dungeon Tournament events right here, we have the Champion Training event. And so yeah, I hope that you've got your brews and your food in order. This is where otherwise you're going to be spending a hell of a lot of gems to just kind of blast farm a ton of guys and getting this Champion Training event done. One thing that I actually neglected to mention is that during the Champion Training Tournament, just here, when you are blasting this Champion Training Tournament, what you actually want to be spending here are going to be your tomes. This is very, very important indeed. Unlike the Champion Training event, you can actually gain Champion Training Tournament points from spending your skill tomes. Epic skill tomes, legendary skill tomes, those give a saucy amount of points and can make this event quite a bit easier. So don't be so quick to spend your food champions during the Champion Training Tournament. You can honestly wait to spend most of those during the Champ Training event instead. Now, alternatively, what you can do, if you're just in this Fusion event calendar for the Fragments from Slixus, which honestly I think that I am, dude, I think I'm gonna be blasting and unloading everything on this Champion Training Tournament right here and just trying to win the goddamn tournament, right? I've got a lot of skill tomes I want to spend. I've got Wixwell that I want to max up. I've got a lot of champs I want to take up to 60, and this just seems like a pretty solid time to do it. So the countdown is on. Massive, massive upgrades incoming for my account. I'm pretty excited about that. And yeah, that's pretty much the calendar. I won't use up any more of your time. Go get to Fire Night Training. God damn it. Not Fire Night Training. Fire Night Tournament. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys did enjoy this one. If you're looking to start off a new Raid Shadow Legends adventure anytime soon, maybe a new free-to-play account or something like that, make sure to do so by clicking on my promo link down below at the top of the video description. Doing so will start off your account with a free epic champion in the form of Juliana, as well as a bunch of starting freebies, and it also helps to support me too. Make sure to also use promo code GameLeap while you're at it for that free energy refill. Enjoy the rest of your day, have fun during the fusion, and I'm going to catch all of you guys just a tad bit later, man.